Hi, I'm Jacqueline with Airport Improvement Magazine, and we're with Andrew from Contech Engineered Solutions. Hi, Andrew.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Excellent.
So tell us about Contech Engineered Solutions.
Yeah, well, Contech is a nationwide company that focuses on site civil development. Been around for a very long time. And we're basically broke down into three major categories of site solutions. So we're underground pipe and sewer and infrastructure, bridges, and stormwater treatment. So we have those three main categories. And we do the whole site civil industry as a whole, but we're here today focusing on the airport applications, which we've been involved with for many years.
Okay, so tell us about some of your airport applications and what do you do most often?
Yeah, so we've been doing airports for decades now. So we have a lot of history and a lot of experience of dealing with it. But as you can see, all airports have very important infrastructure. Every airport has drainage, bridges, roadways, and various things to capture and treat and things like that. So we kind of run the gamut, whether it's your typical infrastructure for sewer or stormwater to more specialty things like glycol collection, for instance. So whenever planes are de-iced at an airport, the industry is now collecting that runoff in order to treat it or manage it properly. And so we have underground systems made with various types of products to capture that flow. And we do that, anywhere from small storages of 10, 20,000 gallons all the way to the millions of gallons of storage. Matter of fact, we have a project in Memphis at the Memphis airport where we stored in something like 2 to 3 million gallons in a very tight footprint using what we call Duramax steel reinforced polyethylene. And that's a specialty product that is used, and we can make it up into 10-foot diameters. So we can create a very large storage infrastructure with a very short or compact footprint. So we do that. We do things like 𝗬𝗵𝗹𝗶, which is your fire suppression. If it's ever deployed during an emergency, that runoff is collected. And then we can also do just stormwater in general, anywhere from collecting stormwater using things like slotted drain. What it is it's a sheet runoff management device that keeps grades set for airports, which are very important for runway and traffic. And that runoff can then go into detention systems. This one's made out of corrugated metal pipe. And that will detain the water and let it release at a controlled rate. All this is engineered, right?
Right.
And where Contech shines is a large engineering firm might be designing all this with what they've done in the past on other projects. What we bring to the table, so to speak, is engineering experience and background to give them alternatives. And through all of our experience over the decades, we can do that from the very beginning of the design phase all the way through to construction and helping the contractors install and maintain things.
So is that up to whoever's running the project, how soon you would be involved in that? Or do you kind of recommend to them that you're involved from step one?
Yeah, it could go either way, actually. Okay. Sometimes we'll reach out proactively and talk to engineers like we do here today at this conference. Other times they'll reach out at some point during the design looking for solutions. We like problems at Contech. So I'm an degreed engineer. Many of our folks are engineers. And so what we like to do is not only manufacture the equipment, but we want to work with the designers, with the owners, with the agencies even that regulate what's going in underneath the ground. And go through the entire process. So we become industry experts in all of this.
Yeah,
really comes down
much more efficient product if you're involved from beginning to end.
That's right.
And you know all the factors. So you provide everything from routine infrastructure maintenance to environmental changes, weather, emergency situations, anything.
Well, what we end up doing is on the environmental side, as a manufacturer, first and foremost, we're going to be looking at where the regulatory environment's going, and we're going to be designing towards that environment, and then working with those agencies, making sure that what we're building and creating matches or meets or exceeds what they're trying to achieve. And then we take that technology and we go into the consultant worlds and the agencies, and we market it, promote it, and explain to them the benefits of it. So if it is a benefit, they'll use it. If not, they'll be using something else.
Right. So is that the most recent industry trend that you feel like you've had to adapt to?
On the airport side, really the glycol and the 𝗬𝗵𝗹𝗶 has been very big for us the past, 10 years or so. The stormwater management items that we are doing are constantly changing. It's all started with the Clean Water Act, many decades ago, and it continues to, I guess, raise the bar on the environmental impacts that they're trying to
Minimize.
protect.
Yeah.
And then not only are we doing all this infrastructure stuff, we do have some fun things. So everything I'm mentioning is below ground. So most of my work that I do gets buried and no one ever sees it, right?
Right.
So we also get involved with some things, including bridges, like pedestrian bridges. So we have a whole division associated with whether it's a bridge underneath a roadway or taxiway in this case, or even pedestrian bridges like sky bridges that are made with truss bridges. What's unique about our bridge solutions are they're pre-engineered and prefabricated and then shipped to the job site and built on site very quickly. And that's kind of our niche in the industry.
Okay,
Yeah.
so to minimize kind of the time and effort
That's
needed
right.
to put it together.
And hopefully a fully delivered and installed cost competitive solution for it. So,
Okay. So
yeah.
anything else above ground that's exciting you want to share?
Well, again, we tend to be more of the alternatives to some of the more traditional civil solutions. So things like armor flex and what we call hard armor instead of riprap, things like that we do that you can actually visually see, and there's some aesthetic things associated with that with vegetation. But for the most part, we're a try hard and true infrastructure group that does a lot of the things that most people don't recognize that's below their feet or below their airplane as they're taking off. Right.
That keeps everything running.
That keeps everything going. Every airport needs all the things that we provide, and most all the regulations involved we either meet or exceed. Everything we make is made in the United States, so we meet all those requirements. And it's a joy to be here and be a part of this industry.
So thanks, Andrew, for being here with us today and telling us more about Contech.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you.